18-year-old Jack Champion is a fresh face in Hollywood and most notably can be seen in the latest Scream flick playing Ethan Landry. However, he's also well known for starring in 2022's Avatar as Spider, part he booked back when he was 12, while the film wasn't released until he was 18. So safe to say that one role has been taking up most of the up-and-comer's acting career thus far. Since it's only the start for Jack, there's likely a lot you don't know about him, including where he grew up, which is where he still lives by the way, and how he got his start in the industry. But we'll cover all of that and more here for you on Famous Life. Jack Champion was born November 16, 2004 and was raised in Blacksburg, Virginia, United States, where he still lives. His mother, who's a microbiologist, raised him, but aside from that, there isn't much information on Jack's family. As a child, Jack already knew he wanted to act and began doing so when he was 8 years old, starting in school theater productions. He said about this part of his childhood, "I tried sports all my life. I was really tall and big for my age, but I was never competitive. Once I found out that every play, every show, every role is different, it spoke to me. Sports was just the same thing over and over again." According to Jack, his parents were dorky, book-smart, natural PhD master's people, but not Jack. He admitted he never got straight A's, so that, plus his disinterest in sports, took him on a more creative path towards the arts. But once he was serious about making it a career, Jack booked some small roles, including in 2015 when he scored a small role in the documentary series American Genius. He also had a leading role in the horror movie The Night Sitter in 2018. Before this, in 2017, despite only having a few small credits to his name, Jack booked a screen test to join the cast of James Cameron's sci-fi film Avatar: The Way of Water. He was only 12 years old at the time, but it would change his life forever. Not to mention that same day, Jack also discovered he'd been cast in a little film called Avengers Endgame. So before he would head to LA and try to land the part of Spider in Avatar, Jack flew to Atlanta for a quote-unquote nice warm-up, which meant filming his memorable scene in Endgame. In the film, you can spot him early as the bicycle-riding teenager when Paul Rudd's character, Scott Lang, has finally escaped from the quantum realm after 5 years. Well, Jack took advantage of the opportunity and asked Rudd for some advice. Jack explained, "Before my screen test, I asked Paul Rudd if he had any advice, and I feel like every high-profile actor will tell you the same thing. Go with your gut, acting is subjective, so it's all about feeling what's right, and if it feels wrong, then it is wrong." Jack booked his role in Avatar after 4 months of extensive audition. When he found out he was auditioning, the 12-year-old actor watched the original 2009 film every day for a month. He said 3 hours every day. "It was one of my favorite movies growing up." The auditions were months of self-tapes, according to Jack, and then he met the casting director over Skype, and he still wasn't sure he'd get the role. Didn't want to get his hopes up too much. Nevertheless, he got the role of Spider, a human teen living amongst the novice on Pandora. Jack's role meant that he had to film all his scenes twice. The actor's work involved 2 years of performance capture on a soundstage, and then 2.5 years of filming the same scenes in live action in New Zealand. To keep himself strong and maintain a muscular build during his filming and the long duration, because his character is shirtless throughout the film, Jack also exercised extensively with a personal trainer and kept a high-protein diet. Not to mention, Jack had to learn freediving and scuba diving for the underwater film scene. His character Spider is a teenage human who was left as an orphan on Pandora after what went down in the first film, and he's taken in as an unofficial member of the Omaticaya clan of the Na'vi tribe. Jack said about this, "Grow up playing the character, you can't help but put a lot of yourself into the role. With Spider, I feel like it's just a different version of me that would be on Pandora, growing up in the situation he's in." After 5 years of production, Avatar: The Way of Water was released in 2002 after Jack had already turned 18. It made $2 billion worldwide, making it the 3rd highest grossing film of all time. At the same time, Jack also was shooting for the sequel, Avatar 3, which is set to release in 2024, and shot some parts of Avatar 4, which will come out in 2026. The reason for this is so that Jack wouldn't completely age out of his role during the time elapsed. When talking about working with the director, Jack shared, "It's an honor to work with Jim for 4.5 years of my life. He knows everything about every department from acting to lighting to stunts to cinematography. A lot of the time, he'd hold the camera himself, do his own camera work. He's just a cinematic genius. Through so many years, he has kind of become like a father figure to me." Most recently, you've likely seen Jack appear alongside the ensemble cast for the slasher film Scream 6, which was released in March 2023. In the film, he plays Ethan Landry, or at least that's his alias. At the start, his character is simply the shy and dorky roommate of one of the other main characters, Chad. But by the end, he takes a villainous turn, or rather his true nature is revealed. According to Jack, this role was a fantasy come true, and he revealed in an interview, "I watched this Scream movies in October 2021, and immediately I became a huge fan of horror and slashers. Last Halloween I dressed as Ghostface, and then literally in less than a year, I would be cast in the next movie. There is nothing subtle about Jack's Ethan once his true nature becomes clear, but like many of the Scream franchise's best villains, this isn't a bad thing. Jack amps up his villain role in the sequel's closing scenes, and Jack does a great job following Ghostface standards set by actors and actresses in the Scream films before him. Next up for Jack Champion will be in the thriller Retribution, which is a remake of the 2015 Spanish movie of the same name. For this, he'll play the son of Liam Neeson's character in the film. Also, Jack will appear alongside an ensemble cast in the movie Freaky Tales. After spending a huge chunk of his young acting career on Avatar, Jack has admitted he is also enjoying the flexibility of smaller projects. He said, "You feel more in control of things. It's like, oh, maybe my character wouldn't do that, or instead of having that costume, I could dress like that instead." I think you get a lot of creative legroom with a smaller production, because with big stuff, I guess there's more corporate decisions that have already been made. As of now, the 18-year-old Virginia-based actor hasn't made the move to Hollywood yet and says he wants to keep his home where he is, but never say never. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's next for this rising star. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Famous Life and leave a comment for who you'd like us to feature next.